What are we doing?
Dude, I don't know.
You need a hug? All right, let's do it.
So I was doing some research,
It's like therapy for us. You're just easing into not having much time on your hands.
and I'm stoked for the journey. What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Boyd,
And I am the Zach Gittler.
and we are two dads on a mic.
Yeah. That's right.
Episode number 20 coming at you live. All right, everybody. Today we are talking about 7 ways life changes when you become a dad. Now, this one's really big to me because this just happened to me, right? You're kind of a veteran in this. That you are the guy that comes to me and says, "Oh, just wait. Oh, wait for this, wait for that," and then I'm the guy that's always like, Yeah. And then there's like that next level of dad that's got like the 14-year-old that's like,
Yep.
You guys are clowns. You don't have a clue yet. And then you got the next level that's like got the kid in college and like, oh, wait till you have to pay for that shit.
Agree. Yeah, you described it perfectly. That's
So
perfect.
it's kind of funny that there's all these stages. So, but this is really tailoring to maybe those of you that want or are about to become dads, want to become dads. And then for the rest of you, it's just a funny way to look back and say like, ha, I remember that.
And are these true or are these false?
Right.
Did they adapt? I think, yeah.
Yeah. So before we jump into the episode, I want to give a shout out to one of our favorite breweries. They are a local brewery here in San Diego, Modern Times. Your beer. I personally am a member of
beer
your
connoisseur?
league. I'm a member of their league.
Okay.
League of party goers.
Is that an actual thing or that's what you say when you like a beer?
No. So I am a member of their League of Party Goers, so I get like some awesome benefits to special beers that they have. But this is one of my favorite beers, the Fruitlands. So those of you that are in the West Coast, you can get their beers. I'm not sure where they're distributed out in the rest of the country, but they did open another brewery in Portland, which I was super stoked on. And I just appreciate you guys and your beers because, you make my mouth happy. So anyway.
They might take that. They might take that for their
Well,
advertisement.
Twizzlers kind of already did that. Twizzlers
Really?
makes mouths happy.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I'm not giving a shout out to
Jess had a
Twizzlers.
Twizzler on 4th of July, and it was in one of her drinks for as a
like
decor.
straw?
No, as a decor, and I was like, Jess, wait, hold on. I was like, do you remember doing this as a kid? She's like, no. I'm like, what?
Twizzler straws are the best.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know.
Okay, so diving into this whole 7 ways that life changes when you become a dad. We found this really funny article, not just funny, but cool, on parents.com. Great place for you to go and read up on this stuff. But talks about 7 different ways that your life can change when you become a dad. So the author of this article, his name is Nick Shell. He said, when he was leading up to his son's birth, he got plenty of your life's gonna change. Say goodbye to your social life. You better sleep now because you're not gonna sleep then. And he says, there is some truth in all those things that are said to you, but there's also a bright side to having the kid. And I'll be honest with you, before we had Mac, all the things that people told me scared the shit out of me. Like I was so nervous about having Mac, and I don't get nervous about a lot of things. Like a lot of things don't really make me nervous because I don't really care.
But you can also control a lot of things.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Right, like those things that I don't get nervous about, they're kind of my destiny. Like I can choose. What's the outcome going to be? With this one, you never know. So you asked me just today. You were like, "How's it going? How's fatherhood? How's everything going?" I love it. Like, yeah, there's hard times, right? But when she smiles at me, dude, it washes all that shit.
Yeah, and I've said this before. Like, thankfully, the babies can be so cute and do something. Even at 3.5, even Arya, even this last week, I went through an hour tantrum. And I can handle them because I know it's a teaching phase right there. And if you commit to this, sometimes Jess cannot get me out of the house. Even my mom's pacing up and down, looking at me, making her comments under her voice. But then it's done. And then after, she calms down and we sit on the couch. He's like, "Daddy, I love you." I'm sorry.
Done.
Done. I mean,
that whole hour has just like washed away.
But I mean, if kids didn't have that ability, parenting would be a lot different.
Well, I think there are kids out there that don't have that ability because their parents don't instill that ability.
True. I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I think what that does is speaks to your job as being a parent. And I'll be honest with you, when I was teaching, right, I had to deal with kids that did not have that ability to understand that you need to be accountable for your actions, right? And oh my God, getting them to be like, yeah, I did that, or I shouldn't have, and I should have done this. It was like pulling teeth. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're screwed.
I think we need to revisit the episode of like we did the discipline, right? How do you discipline your kids? Yeah. I need to revisit that because I want to get interaction from everybody out there of like how do they, engage and discipline their kid? Because like what I did last week is like I guess Jess calls me a drill sergeant. Because because what I was doing is like she wouldn't listen, so then we put her in her room and I close the door. I have to hold the door because she's trying to pry it open.
Wow.
And she's screaming and like she bangs a couple
You're
times.
You're literally holding the door.
I'm holding the door because she'll open it up, and once the door opens, she's like looking at me.
I can't even imagine my little angel doing that right now.
Yeah, right.
And now,
my little angel.
I know, right?
Your little angel.
I know, right?
In 3 years, you'll be like, that devil of a child.
Damn you,
yeah, I
child!
Know. But like, I would. My goal was to have her listen. So I would say you have to sit because she would scream in the other side of the door. She's like, I want to listen. I want to listen. Okay. I open the door. Like, are you ready to listen? Yeah. Sit down. I don't want to. Sit down and I would explain. If you want to listen, is when Dad asks you something to do and you do it. That's listening. Do you want to listen? Yeah. Sit down. No. Shut the door. It was an hour of that. Back and forth. Then I heard her sit down, open the door, and I was like, dang it, do I go further right now? And I went in her room. I'm like, Aria, that was what listening is, and you did a good job. She's still like hyperventilating.
Oh, yeah.
And it's tough to talk to a child in that stage of like, you can't really get things across, but she was calming down. I sat on her bed, talked to her, and she's sitting on the floor. And I was like, okay, Aria, that was good listening. Now you see those books there? Put your books away. I could have been pushing it a little bit. It didn't take as long. She put the books away. A little bit mean. She's like, but she did it. And I'm like, Aria, that is what listening is. When you do what we ask you to do, mommy, Nana, or me, that is what listening is. And we went, do you want to go downstairs? Yeah. Do you want Tink? And then some people say like it's bad to like give them what they want for that, but I'm like, you did what I said, so I'm called a drill sergeant in certain ways. But then again, I told, Jess and my mom, like right now, I don't know any other way, but from what I've researched and read articles, people are going to portray it and do it in whatever way they do, as long as you do it.
I love what you're saying right there. And I think that when you got her to do what you needed her to do, and then you rewarded that behavior by giving her something that she wanted, in my opinion, you are spot on. So one of the best advices I was ever given was by a mentor of mine, Kelly Cardenas, and he said, in our business world, he said, appreciate what you want to appreciate. In other words, appreciate the things that you want to grow. So when you appreciated her doing those things for you by giving her things that now she wants and needs, that at the end of the day, she did the things you needed her to do, which is the most important thing because that's what you needed done. You're her parent, right? And it wasn't something over the top. It's not like you're going crazy. You're telling her she needs to put her books away, and that's what she needs to do. And then you're appreciating that behavior by doing things that you know are going to make her
But some
happy.
people like knock you, like you shouldn't reward that kind of thing. I'm like,
well, then those people are idiots.
Yeah, and I don't care. It's like, how you parent is how you parent. As long as you're as long as you're parenting, I think that's what you got to like strive for.
Positive reinforcement is such a better way of discipline than negative reinforcement.
But you know what's different with our world is that we have a different category in our world. We have my mom, who's 68, who grew up four kids a different way, let's say. And like me and Jess have talked about this, Mom, you'll probably watch this, like how we are parenting to where you are used to parenting and your generation is used to their ways, and there's no breaking out of those ways. I think once you hit 60, it's how it is. What you grew up on, that's the right way. That's it. It's very tough to break out of that mold. And so like, she's witnessing days of what we're doing, and I can see it like, I would do this. I'm like, but I would always engage like, Mom, like, what did you do with us? Because I always say my world is, I'm writing my own book, but I want to do research. I don't have to take the full thing, but I take a piece. I take a sentence of the paragraph you just said, and I put that in my book. But info is free, and it's very important to get as much as you can.
Well, I think what we talked about last episode or the episode before is it's kind of like that communication piece with your kids. Like, if you're not willing to adapt to text message through communication with your kids, like your mom didn't have that option with you guys. But if you're not willing to adapt into that with your kids, then maybe you're not hitting it in the best way possible. So you can't take the criticism of other people from a different generation that's not how they did it, but that doesn't mean that it was the right way to do it. And who's to say what's right or wrong, but it's a different way, a different approach. I think in my experience with kids, positive reinforcement was I always had greater outcomes and more quick outcomes than I did with negative reinforcement, right? So like with our employees, it's like, okay, what is it that you're doing well? I'm doing this. Okay, what is it that you need to work on? Well, I'm doing this. Okay, well, I see that you're doing this, this, and this, right? That are great. Let's work on those things. And as soon as we see them doing those things, it's like, you're doing great. Mm-hmm. You're doing great. Keep it up. Keep it up. Don't let it slack. You're doing great, right? It's not going to them and being like, God, you really dropped the ball on that shit. Like, you think that's going to motivate somebody? That's not going to motivate anybody.
So it doesn't change. It doesn't change from kids to adults in everything. It's just communication,
right? And
how it come across. Yep. And someone takes it in. If they don't take it in the way you want, then switch it up.
Are you ready to go rapid fire?
Rapid fire. We're going to get into the topic we're talking about after we ran for that, but that was a good rant.
No, it was good. It was good. I think it hit right on home. So 7 ways life changes when you become a dad.
Yes.
So we're going to go back and forth a little bit. I'm going to give one to Zach, and then he tells me his thoughts. Then he's going to give one to me. I'm going to tell him my thoughts.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
On your mark, get set, go.
All right, you're asking me first?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Your me time disappears from your schedule.
Yes. I will 100% agree with that. But also it depends about everything else in your life, of your business, of your job. Like, I don't know what you do. For us, we're very busy people. But yes, it does. But then you learn ways to bring it back in.
Yes.
That's look, you're never ever not learning. You're never ever trying to better your life. And if you're not trying to do these things, you need to start, because that me time is important, whether it be you and significant other or just you alone. Again, coming back to communication, you talk about with your significant other about what do you need, or you observe and just do it for them and say, look, go grocery shopping by yourself. Yep. Like, that's a big one with Jess. Go grocery shopping by yourself. She's like, loves it. Like, loves it. But I know that. I'm observant, and I know that, and
now she has some me time.
Yeah, your me time definitely does disappear. I will agree with that. Mm-hmm. So now I ask you.
Yep.
You are now responsible in a way that you have never been before.
Oh, man. This probably hits me more than anything that I have felt as a new father. I literally will hold her and look at her, and I will think about my income, and I will think about what I want for her. And I've never had to think about that. Like so Molly's always worked, right? She's always had a job. We started a business, all that. I never had to think about that with her, right? I never had to fully support Molly financially. And then for this, it makes, when I hear the responsible, it really goes back to the financial aspect for me. I know that there's so many other responsibilities, and we talk a lot about those other responsibilities: social responsibilities, engagement responsibilities, discipline responsibilities, those types of responsibilities. I feel like I'm really in tune with those things. I hope so. But it's the financial. I want to make sure that I'm setting her up successfully for anything that she would need in the financial aspect.
But let me piggyback real quick. That will go away.
I'm sure it will.
It will go away, because for me it has gone away because I was the same way. You actually gain more confidence in yourself as time goes on. And I'm trying to instill that in Jess, of just like, you have to look at where we are in life. Not with a child, but where we are in life. How did we get here? Because of the people we are, what we do. Raising a child is going to be, or in regards to like financial, or how is she going to grow up in the world and view these things, or technology using. I have zero worry that Ari is not going to grow up to be an amazing human being.
Right.
And that's odd. Just like categorize that. That's it. Not like where's she going to college. I mean, I have views on everything, but she will be an amazing human being.
And I love
no
that.
worries.
And that's the right approach. That is the right approach and the right mindset. And I think because it's so new to me, it's just one of those things I'm grasping my head around.
Well, I was too. I mean, I was more worried about the financial of like how much everything is going to cost. We were not getting by, but like, doing what we do, and we were going to be able to go to vacation. Now it's all going to change. It's gone. But you adapt and things, and all of a sudden, like, we're more, not profitable, but like successful now than before we had a baby. Mm-hmm. How the heck did that happen? You don't know. You have to just throw that away, and you have to have confidence in yourself and what you're able to do together as a team. That's it.
Right.
That's it. When people go off the, well, what ifs and what about this? Stop talking. Stop talking. Do you believe in yourself? Then that's all that matters, and just stop talking.
Right. Okay. Although you're overly aware of your role as a provider, so you're aware of your role as a provider.
Like a healthcare provider?
Yes. Yes. Dr. Gittler.
Yeah.
You may become intimidated and frustrated by what your gender limitations are.
I don't understand the question.
Okay. So you are a male, right? You cannot do certain things that the female counterpart can do. So you have to be, you can't get, it's about how do you become less intimidated or frustrated by that?
Yes, I read the paragraph. I do get it. So like breastfeeding is what's said in this article. When Aria was born, and I tell Brian and Molly are doing a great job of trading off in tasks. I think if you're about to have a child, I think when that child's born, trading off tasks is very important and not just doing everything together. If, wifey's got to wake up and breastfeed, if she needs something, of course, go get it, but you don't have to wake up and just kind of like, are you okay? I remember just like hanging out, like, do you need anything and this and that. But gender limitations, the only way I can counteract that is anytime a conversation comes up, and I do believe this, women have it horribly worse than men, period. Totally. I'm not saying this for like to gain you like me. It's 100% true in so many ways, from babies to makeup to clothing to you have it horribly. It sucks. It sucks. So whatever I can do to make it better or, in the experience, then I will do. But as the baby is born, taking turns and, trading off and things is super important. And going back to like your me time, that's where you can give back. The gender limitations, you can give back to that gender limitation by giving that your significant other me time.
Yeah. And I do need to say, though, your mascara is on point
It's on point.
I think what they say, it's on fleek.
It's on fleek. You got to get this stuff. It's on Amazon. We'll put a link in there. You can buy it. Yeah. If Jess is here, she could drop some knowledge on that. Yeah. All right, next one.
Yep.
You feel that no matter how much money you make, it will never be enough to care for your new child's needs.
Right? We just talked about this, right? So, after Mac was born, we got bills from the hospital. Thank goodness we have good insurance. But, then I started thinking about college, and I started thinking about vacations, and I started thinking about what I'm providing for her and what can we afford. And I want to provide the best lifestyle possible. But, at the end of the day, I'm not a millionaire. Most parents out there aren't millionaires, and there's some badass kids out there that don't come from extremely wealthy, financially successful families.
You'll be 100% fine. Did you get a college plan?
We do. Okay. Yep. So we have a 529 set up for her. There's multiple people, we're blessed, that are contributing to it, which is really cool.
I was gonna cancel Aria's because my views on college, but I'm keeping it now because I came across a kid that I did a bar mitzvah for. Now she's going to college, but guess where she's going to college for the first year? Rome. So whatever college she got accepted to, the first year is, because I've heard it's been second year. I just have views on college right now. I think in 15 years, it's going to be a different world. College already is not needed as much as it was 10 years ago. So I'm like, the world of 529, you have to use it for college. If not, you have to gift it to a family member. But if you take the money out, you get dinged big time. So, But
you can also use it not just for college. You can use it for any type of educational growth for your child. So, and think about the way that the world is going in regards to that is a lot of people are doing trades. They're not doing college per se. So like tech companies, like IT or things like that. You know what I mean? They're learning trades. They're not just going to college for 4 years.
So it's good. So it'll be there for, I'm going to always keep it, and also like, as you said, people are contributing. If everybody ever wants to give her a gift, I will just say like, look, just contribute to her college.
Totally.
But that's, but going back to like, what I said, you'll have zero worry because already.
Well, it's starting to go that way now that I'm getting more in tune with how everything's going, and I know how much we're spending on her, because you just don't know that at the beginning. You don't know. Everyone says like, oh, you're going to spend so much money on diapers. Well, Costco's badass, man, and they really help out because they give me 1,000 diapers for $40, and I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, it's just a normal what every person goes through unless you are a bazillionaire.
Yep, you just got to budget differently.
Yeah, it is. But just like, I mean, a decision you made, not even thinking about it, but you guys loved the outdoors, and you bought a little trailer hitch, and that alone, as I keep bringing up, I'm like, that alone is going to give your child like the most amazing life experiences that a vacation to Maui, a vacation to Mexico, to all-inclusive resort will not give them.
Right.
You know, and that's, I mean, that's the best education you can get someone. So
Totally agree. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
The new social norm is to spend basically all of your free time with your partner and baby.
So that kind of like goes back, intertwines with like the me time.
Mm-hmm.
So the new social norm is to spend basically all of your time, free time with your partner. So that's the norm. People expect that.
Of them, like, remember, this is one of those things that people fear going into parenthood.
So
Right.
like I'm going to lose my me time.
Right.
It kind of goes in the same thing.
That's how the perception is that life will change.
Yeah, I mean, that's a iffy one for me. I mean, it's kind of like broad, and they included this in the same one of the me time. So I think it segues into the me time. This one is kind of, well, what's it? You may feel guilty about leaving your wife and baby at home when you go and do anything other than work or buy diapers. I get that to begin with. You know, I get that. But as they grow after like 2 years, I think it changes. The first year, definitely, because those are very influential, productive, that you want to be around your child as much as you can. So yeah, I get it. I think we can move on to the next one. I think that's all I gotta say about
Well,
it.
I think to what you're saying, it's absolutely it's just a feeling that you have. So when there's moments where I'm not with Mac or with Molly, I do feel a little guilty, but it's okay for me to not. And I think that's what he's trying to point out, is that it's considerably important to spend time on your own, and it's important for your wife to spend time on her own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and as they get older, it will change. I mean, it's changed for me of just like, I mean, hey, every parent has felt, you know, out there like, I just want to get the hell away from my kid right now. Like,
and that's okay.
And that's
Don't
the me,
feel guilty
and that's
about
the me
it.
time. But he says right here, it's like, but just as you have to purposely set aside time for yourself and your family, it's important that you pencil in some time for your friends and hobbies.
Totally.
And it is like Jess always says, like, you know, we do this, and you know, we've talked. He's like, well, Jess, where's, you know, I want my time. I'm like, sure, just let me know what it is, whether it's be hanging out with friends or like this and that, and
We'll make it happen.
yeah, exactly.
It's important.
All right, next one. Naturally, your new circle of friends will consist of other parents.
Well, I would say that yes, this does kind of happen. But Molly and I had kids later, right? I'm 37, she's 35. So it's not like we were 25, 26 having kids, and then we were all of our friends, like we lost all of our friends. The majority of our friends had kids already, like you and Jess, right? Mm-hmm. You have a 3-year-old, right? So for us, it's true, and I don't seem to find myself hanging out with people that don't have friends, don't have kids, don't have friends. I'll be your friend. Yeah. But that don't have kids, we just don't really see. We don't find ourselves doing that really.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoy hanging out with people that have kids because I learn a lot from them.
Yeah, you guys were always were more attracted to people with kids, I feel.
Yeah. Well, I think that we just. It's interesting that you say that. We love being around kids,
mm-hmm.
like, you know, but we loved our friends too, and we didn't want them. I think people might have a different perspective when they look at us and they had kids, because we would always hang out with them regardless. I think a lot of people are detracted from people that have kids because they think like, well, I don't want to go over there and hang out with our kids.
Oh, yeah,
like, whereas we're like, dude, we love hanging out with your kids.
You were a rare breed, I would say, because even at like, I might think that, like, if you like, yeah, come over and hang out, and let's say you only had a certain like one night out a week, let's say, and you're like, yeah, come hang out with us and our kid, and like, I would go out and do so many different things, you know.
Right.
But yeah, you guys were always kind of like attracted and went that route, so hence you have a child now.
Right. I think that was one of the things that made Molly want to finally have kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, last one. You adopt a new version of being cool.
I would say I'm the same person I was before the child. I'm even more, the child actually makes it okay for me more to be child.
To be you.
To be me. For sure, 100%. I mean, I'm already a goofy person and childish in so many ways, but when I need to hunker down and get business savvy, and I can do that, which makes it more of a connection with Arya than any kid in that fashion. I mean, you're probably the same way. It's like, put me around a kids, all of a sudden it's Camp Zach.
Let's be cheesy around our kids.
Yeah, and going back to like, I will show up in a clown suit at a birthday party and be the only parent there. You know, like,
as you should.
And I would do it without a kid.
Yes, you would.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
that's why I hang out with you.
yeah, and that's why kids are amazing, and that's it says the biggest change is your biggest reward, your kid. You know, like, it definitely for the parents out there that were like, maybe this would adapt more to. I think it's a huge benefit.
Right.
You know, a kid, and you'll see it in like grandma and grandpas a lot of times. It can put 10 years on their life. Like, I truly believe my mom's a healthy person. My mom will live 10 years more because she's around our child.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And I love that about grandparents that want to engage with their grandkids. We were having this conversation with a couple grandparents yesterday, and they were saying the exact same thing, that it has brought a new life to them. And I love that. So these are ways that your life will change. I think we've agreed, but that doesn't mean that change is bad.
Change will always happen.
Right? And so if you're just willing to adapt, change with it, and look at it not from like, oh my God, my life is over, to, oh my God, my life has just begun.
If you think if you're thinking those thoughts and you haven't had a baby yet, do not have a baby.
Right.
That you like, I will look at you and I'll tell you to your face, why are you having a child?
Yeah.
You know, so that's, yeah.
So don't do it, because your life isn't over. Literally, your life is just beginning.
Yeah, but you guys will think, and as we have, of like, oh my God, do you remember how our lives were? And I do, but I feel, because I always want advancement and progression in life and business, whatever it may be, that I could never get to a level I'm at mentally with having a child than without. And I think every episode we ever do, it comes down to just adapting to all of this.
Yep.
In every which way.
Yep. So, thanks for joining us, everybody. Awesome topic, awesome discussion. If you have any questions or anything that you want to ask us about this, please make sure you find us. Shout out on Instagram at 2dads on a mic, Twitter 2dads on a mic, Facebook 2dads on a mic.
And where are we now?
Oh, and we're now on Spotify and Google Play for all of your podcast needs. Of course, iTunes and Anchor as well. Thank you guys for all this support. My name is Brian Boyd.
And I'm Zach Gidler.
And we out.